Damanin, welcome to the very first episode of the Gospel Silinda podcast. And yes, of course, this is your host, Gospel Silinda. And you know what to do. Kindly click on the subscribe button below and turn on all your notifications so that you can keep up with the sound of a king worldwide. Well, it almost sounded like keeping up with the Kardashians. Anyway, let me not waste your time. As promised, we are kicking off today's podcast by going straight into the inside information of my personal life. I'm actually going through the things that I'm going to be sharing today here. It's quite interesting because most of you know me as Gospel Silinda, the gospel artist. No pun intended. But yeah, there's more to that, to who Gospel Silinda is. So today I'll be giving you some insights on what you've always wanted to know about me and my personal views on certain things and my personal views on life and the music craft at large. So yeah, let's get right into it. Question number 1. Who is Gospel Silinda? Who is Gospel Silinda? Just for the sake of professionalism, let me go straight into my profile and my biography and read it. You guys can get my biography on gospelsilinda.co.za, or you just go to Google and just type Gospel Silinda and then my details will come up there. But this is what it says. It says, Gospel Silinda is Mpumalanga Lowveld's biggest export. The husky-toned hunk has a matured, powerful but mellow voice. His unique ability to transition from almost any genre, ranging from jazz to Afro soul and dance to traditional gospel music, scored him a place in Africa's renowned gospel choir Joyous Celebration, which he has been a member of since 2017. A recording artist since 2008, Gospel Silinda has 5 personal albums under his belt and has written and recorded music for many artists, including Joyous Celebration. He has traveled South Africa and the African continent at large, sharing stages with artists, blah, 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 blah. Yay! Yeah, so basically that's who Gospel Silinda is according to my professional profile. But just to add on that, Gospel Silinda is a village boy. I was born and bred in Kushu. I was born in the church, raised by the church, and that kind of like carved my beliefs, spirituality, my moral values, and a whole lot of things about my life. So, yeah, I'm a firstborn child. My dad is a pastor. I'm a pastor's kid, and my late mother, my dad, is Pastor Robert Silinda, or you know him as Brother Robis or Mr. Maritzi, whichever one you choose. And my late mother, Mrs. Martha Silinda, Mama Teula. Yeah, I'm a firstborn. I've got 4 siblings. And I will unfold more because I believe today's podcast will be asking me about my personal information. But just to give you like a brief an overview of who I am. So that's who I am, and I'm many more other things. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a brother, I'm a friend, I'm many things, I'm a human being at the end of the day. So I see, I'm looking at my profile right here. It says husky toned hunk. I don't know about the hunk part, but you tell me what you think. Am I a hunk? Am I not? Am I a hunk? Am I not? Comment on the comment section below and let me know what you think about that. But my voice is husky. My tone is husky. I used to hate it when I was still young. And right now I love it because I speak like I can't sing. And I sing like I don't speak, So, get it? If you don't get it, forget about it. So basically that's who I am. Anyway, let's go to the second question. It says, your upbringing, growing up as a pastor's kid, challenges. Well, I was raised very well. I had 2 loving parents, my dad and my mom. Just like any African child, we had challenges here and there growing up in the village. struggling with this and that. But all in all, what I know is that my parents tried by all means to make sure that I go to school. They made sure that I had a roof over my head. I didn't sleep on the streets. And they made sure that I had an education, and I didn't sleep without eating, and it wasn't bad at all. I was a kid, man. I didn't know that we were poor or anything like that, but also poverty is a state of mind. So I don't believe that I was poor, because I was rich in my mind. I had parents, loving parents, and money cannot buy that. So I was raised very well. And it says challenges of growing up as a pastor's kid. I beg to differ from other people. I like to appreciate the fact that I was raised the way I was raised, because my parents were so strict, because of the pressure. When you're a pastor and your kids are misbehaving, you get the pressure from the community. So they were very strict on us, on me personally, specifically because I'm a firstborn. But I like that because it kind of like protected me and from falling into traps that could have had like a permanent damage into my life. And it kind of like protected me. But there's one thing that I've realized about people that are always locked up. They kind of like grow up to have social anxiety. When you socialize with other people, you struggle with rejection, you struggle with confidence, you struggle with a whole lot of interpersonal skills, because you're used into confined spaces and stuff like that. But I think as I grew up older and I started meeting people, and when I went to varsity and met friends there, I kind of like caught up with that part of my life, and I grew in that aspect, which is a blessing. So I was raised like that. No challenges whatsoever. It's normal. Life has ups and downs. It's not a linear equation. So that's basically that. So let's run to the third question. It says, tell us about your challenges coming from the village, and how you overcame those obstacles to get to where you are today. From a very early age, those who grew up with me will know this for a fact. I grew up, I believe this was a part, like my parents invested so much in my personal development. I had so much, my self-esteem was very high. It is still very high. And I had so much self-belief. I believed in myself, and I believed in God. I always say this: God is the source. When you have the source, you will get all the resources. Like, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Basically, God is the source. God is the source. So if you focus yourself and you give yourself entirely to him, he will bring the resources that you need to be where you are. I've never struggled to go to school, even though my parents could not afford to get me to school. I studied using NSFAS. We slept, we ate before we slept, we had food every day. And so our challenges growing up and in the village. One thing that I can say is a challenge for us village children, village kids, is that we struggle with resources. Like I said, God is the source. He will bring the resources. We struggle with resources because, I'm an artist, but there were never platforms where I could showcase my skills, my singing skills. So probably a whole lot of people in the community didn't know that I could sing, except the people that went to church with me or went to school with me, because we used to sing at school in the choral. But there were never platforms or places where I could be discovered or be given a chance to kind of like, maybe go record or learn about the music industry. Everything I know, I picked it up from the road, and I believe that how I overcame the obstacle is that I focused more on God, and I believe that God brought in the resources, because I found myself at Vaal University of Technology. I was 18 years old when I went to Vaal. Man, I didn't have a brother or anyone. I went by myself, and I only had like 300 rands. When I left, the bus at the time was 90 rands, and I said to my mom, cook me a nice meal, that can last me at least 3 days to a week, and give me this 300 rands, let me go. I will take a bus to Gauteng, 10 rand, 90 rands, and I will use the 100 rands to survive for the week. And if things don't go well, I'll come back. I have another 90 rands. So my mom let me go with tears in her eyes, and but because I believed so much in myself, and I believed in God, who is the source, and He brought in the resources. So that's how I overcame my obstacles. And then as soon as I was at Val, like doors opened up. To cut the long story short, I was able to study and meet people. That's why I met the likes of Reverend Benjamin Dube, the late Vuyo Mokoena, who changed my life, where I met Abu Siangoba Tetwa, who changed my life, and other great people, So yeah, that's how I overcame that, by focusing on God, who is the source. He brought the resources to me, and that's how I kind of like moved up the ladder. So yeah, so question number 4, it says, besides music, what else did or do you do? Well, besides music, I studied at after matric. Like I said, I went to varsity. I studied biotechnology at Val University of Technology, and I'm a qualified biotechnologist, and I did work as a microbiologist, and I did some other jobs, which I think I would be able to explain on the next questions as we proceed. And yeah, I'm a qualified scientist, and also I am a qualified skills development facilitator. That's why I like maybe community development and stuff like that, skills development. I actually have a certificate in skills development, and I also did, before I started with biotechnology, I did like mechanical engineering, but I kind of like stopped at N3 at the time. I don't know what they call it now. It was N3 at the time at Sidibian College. And yeah, so N3, mechanical engineering. I'm a qualified biotechnologist, and I worked as a microbiologist and a QA, quality assurance practitioner for Hazel Laboratory manufacturer, and an in-process controller also there. And I'm a qualified skills development facilitator. So kind of like, yeah, nyazama, kufani, nazama, So yeah. I hope you're still enjoying more insight, information about Gospel Silinda. And I want to do this podcast differently. We are going to go to an ad break. But the ad break is actually a music video or a performance, one of my performances. I will choose one in particular, the Matola Gospel Festival. I kind of like enjoyed that. So we are going to continue with more information on Gospel Silinda, and just enjoy the video and put your comments on the comment section and tell me what you think and all this. We will be right back. Welcome back to the Gospel Silinda podcast, and of course I'm your host, Gospel Silinda. And yeah, do the right thing, man. Click on the subscribe button and turn on all your notifications so that you can keep up with the Son of a King worldwide, me, of course. And yeah, let's take this to 100,000 subscribers, and let's take it to 1 million subscribers. I believe all things are possible. So let's continue. Question number 5. Before doing music full time, what were you doing? Yeah, like I said, I did some jobs. I started working at at Edcon Group, Edgar's Jet. I was their talent acquisition practitioner. We used to do recruitment. I was working part-time, and from there they took me in on a more permanent basis. I was their debt collector. I was in collections. So I was that guy who would bore you phoning it, hey wakolota, hey akela, anyway. So from there I moved and I did call center for Standard Bank, and I was there on general banking, and from there I went for Discovery Health. I was a data capturer. Yes, I did data capturing. From there, I was like, nah, let me go back to school, because I kind of like dropped out around 2004. From 2005, I was no longer going to school. I dropped out and I had three subjects missing. So I went back to varsity and I completed my study. Like I said, I'm a qualified biotechnologist. And there's a story, man. Let me give you a background. You know, maybe someone can help me with this. And it kind of like hurts me. And the fact that my mother passed away without seeing me graduate, I know it would have meant a lot to her. What happened is I studied at Valtech, Value University of Technology. I dropped out, I came back, I finished the three subjects, and I went and I did my in-service training, came back and submitted everything, and I asked for the reference letter to say that you've completed your diploma in biotechnology, so that I could use it while waiting to graduate. So what happened is I never came back. I never went back to graduate. So I just continued working. It felt so good. I was like, I'm working anyway. But one day I was like, nah, man, my parents took me to school. I know they would be proud of me to see walking on that stage to fetch you know how parents are. They are proud of us. They want us to see us succeed and stuff like that. So I went to VAR and I went to the HOD office of the Faculty of Applied Science, and I told her that I wanted to graduate. So she sent me to exam office to submit my things. I went. When I get there, they tell me that I can't graduate because I have a subject missing, you know? And I'm like, no, but I don't have a subject missing because that subject was not part of my syllabus. When I completed my studies, they said, no, the system can't submit your things because it wants that subject and we can't bypass the system. You know, I was like, okay, cool. What's the subject? They told me it was ITC, something like that. It was like some computer thing. Fine. Went to the HOD. I told her. She was like, okay, cool. What I'll do for you, I will arrange for a day. Let's set a date for you to come and write this subject, and then we will send it to the exam office, and you will be credited. Fine. They did that. I went and I wrote that exam. That thing, the computer thing, I passed. I had like about 86%, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Fine, the HOD takes my things. She goes to the exam office to submit my things, and guess what? The exam office, she's told that they can't register me because they can't put the system, that subject on the system because I'm not registered as a student. So which meant I had to register from the beginning of the year as a student only to write at the end of the semester. But I was like, no, but this was a special arrangement. If it's an issue of me paying, let me pay. Put me on the system as a student. I will pay for the subject and then let me graduate because this is what I want to do. Because also I believe that it will become like a legacy, a good legacy for my kids. You know, when I tell them to go to school, they can't say, but dad, you didn't go to school, you're an artist or you're a businessman. I can always show them, like, you know, because going to school is a good thing, guys. You know, it opens up your mind, you know, you start thinking differently and stuff like that if you really apply yourself. So I was told that they can't put me on the system, but the HOD actually said to me, okay, go home, fine, we will sort this thing out and we'll call you. And since that time up until today, I have never received feedback from Valley University of Technology. No one has attended to this issue. Kind of like gave up on it, but it breaks my heart, you know, because my mother passed away without seeing me graduate. I know it would have meant a lot for her, and I hope that I can still go to Valley University of Technology and graduate because, guys, I have completed my studies a long time ago. All I need is to graduate. If they need money, I don't owe the school. NSFAS has paid. You know, if someone can help me with this, please, kind of like help me. So anyway, that's the background story on that. I know kind of like took like it was like a venting moment between Gospel Silinda and you guys. Maybe one of you can be able to help me. So, but anyway, let's go to the other question. And let me see. It says, oh yeah. How did Joyous Celebration found you? My story is quite interesting. Because I was inducted into Joyous Celebration via Facebook. I always go around, and lately I'm doing it a lot. I'm going around and I'm telling people about the power of social media. Social media is your mobile office. Show us who you are. Don't post for clout. Don't ridicule people, because some of you, God puts people into our spaces, because God is not gonna come from heaven to open doors for us. He puts people into our spaces, whether it's a classroom, whether it's in a choir, whether it's on social media or wherever in the community. He puts certain individuals in our spaces so that they can become gateways to certain doors, or keys to certain doors, and open those doors for us, which we are praying for from God. God will use people. So use your social media platform to present yourself as who you are. You treat it as your mobile office. But anyway, going back, they found me, Joyous Celebration found me on social media. Even though I was inboxed by Usiangwa Mtetwa, who I went to varsity with around 2000, and he came to Val around 2005, when I was still at Val, but I was no longer studying. But I was a music director I was a choir conductor actually for Val University of Technology SCO, and I had posted my video of me performing that song, Ngiyanigela go gwami wesima hagate. And I remember Xikwembu Mtetwa actually commented on the video and said, "This is my friend Gospel Silinda." And immediately after that, he went to my inbox and he inboxed me, "How Mfethu, you still sing? Please send me one of your videos. I'll try and show it to Babu Mkhize. Maybe something can." Because I had actually told him like some years back to say, "Look, man, if there's an opportunity for me to join Joyous Celebration, let me know. You know, I'll come auditions and stuff like that." So I sent him a video. He sent it to Dr. Lindelani Mkhize, and I remember him sending back the reply from Dr. Lindelani Mkhize saying, this was Ubaba Lindelani Mkhize saying, "I like the Africanness on your friend's tone. We can give him a chance at Joyous Celebration. Tell him that he can come join us." And then Sia immediately sends another message. "Congratulations, welcome to Joyous Celebration, man. I'm so happy for you. There's a lot that is coming. I'm leaving." He's telling me that he's leaving at the time because he was going to do other projects. At the time, they had just came back from Dallas, you know, and I was like, what? You know, in 2016, that was the most difficult time of my life, because I quit my job in 2015 because I had a conversation with my dad, and my dad said to me, "What is it that you want to do?" I told him that I was depressed at work, and he said to me, "What is it that you want to do?" I said, "Music." He said, "Take a year off work and give music 100% focus and attention for a year. If it doesn't work out, at least you would have known that you've given it your full attention. And then you can go back to your microbiology things." So in 2005, 2015, I'm sorry, in November, I retired. I didn't resign, I retired. They gave me my packages, and in 2015 December, I went and recorded my Agavumanga album, which had the song Ngiyanigela, which I just sang, and Agavumanga ngempilo yami. Nice album. And I struggled from 2016 January up until December. Nothing was working. What I was living on, I went and printed the CDs of the album I recorded, Agavumanga album. So I would go with my traveling bag, put CDs there when I visit churches, and I will sell my CDs from my bag. And I will go on the streets and I will sell my CDs, and I will visit, I will go to churches, events. Sometimes I'll take a smaller bag, take some few CDs. At least if I can sell a CD, it's 50 rands, then I can have bread and all. So it was a tough year. And and 2016 December, when I was inducted to Joyous Celebration, I'm just giving you a background story. It kind of like became like a milestone for me, because my life changed immediately from there, Yeah. So let's move to the other question. Number 7, your first live recording as an artist. My first live recording as an artist was in 2021. Yeah, 2021. It was just after lockdown COVID in October, and I named it Son of a King Live. We did it at Mkhuhlu, Abundant Life Community Church, Pastor Eric's Boys Church. Thank you, sir, for opening your doors for us. If you didn't, I don't know what I would have done, because at the time I didn't even know what I was doing. And it was quite interesting, because it was quite a difficult time for all of us. I mean, the world was on lockdown. I remember getting advices from people in the industry and my friends. I mean, it was coming from a good place. I told them, yo guys, I'm finally recording my live recording. I'm so excited. This is what I want to do. God says I must do this. And they said to me, dude, it's locked down now. It is not viable for you to do a live recording. But God said to me, I must do it. So I kind of like defied all odds, and I did the live recording. I didn't have the money. So I went on Facebook. Again, Facebook is a very powerful tool. I went on Facebook. Those who remember, I wrote a status and I said, hi guys, this is Gospel Silinda. I was born in the church, raised by the church. I love God, this and that and that. And this, I believe that time has finally come for me to record my first live recording. And the thing is, I don't have money. However, if we can work together, you work with me for me to fulfill my purpose and my calling and whatnot. I need 2,000 people. This is what I wrote. I need 2,000 people who can give me 200 rands each. If 2,000 people give me 200 rands each, I will have 400,000. I put my banking details there, and people started giving me that offering. Some gave me 500 rands, some 200 rands, some 1,000 rands, some 5,000 rands. And I remember my pastor, Elias Sambo of the Rock Tabernacle Church at Otley, kind of like gave me like a huge chunk of money. Kind of like started giving me like a confidence. And I remember also going to Palabura to Pastor Moss Shabangu, Disciple or Worship Center, and he gave with the church. Every member of the church offered 200 rands, and the pastor himself gave me like a chunk of money. And money started coming in. 20,000, someone comes, 10,000, 5,000, and then one day, one of my major sponsors, I know he doesn't want me to mention his name, for he's a very good guy. God touched him and he said to me, take off that status, man. We will raise the 400,000 together, and we will do this live recording to the best of our ability, and this will serve to glorify God. And he says to me, I don't know why I'm doing this, because I'm working on a risk. I don't know what's happening, but I believe this is what God wants us to do at this point in time. And then we started working, man, and I started calling people. He says, start calling people, videography, whatever. Then I started calling people, videography, sound, choir, everything. It was a very special moment and a very spiritual. I think it was, there was a shift in the spirit, in my spiritual life around that time, because I saw God. And finally I recorded, and we did it successfully. And I will reply. I will give more information on the other information that I'm going to be having right now. So yeah, let's go to the next question. It says, question number 8, how did rhandza ka Xikwembu change your life? Rhandza ka Xikwembu changed my life so drastically. That song, first of all, it was a testimony for me. I didn't know it was a hit. It was a song that I was just doing, and it was a testimony to me, because in everything that is happening in my life, I believe rhandza ka Xikwembu. The will of God has prevailed in my life. Antaban fikale una balala ba me You know, my enemies, according to the enemy, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. When I say enemies, I'm talking about spiritual enemies, principalities and rulers and all those things. According to my enemy, or my enemies, I'm not supposed to be here today. There were many instances I could have died. I know I had many near-death experiences. There are many instances where things could have just went sour. I could have had this or that, could have been sick or whatever, but God shielded me and He preserved my life. And I believe, first and foremost, that song is a testimony in my life. But how the song changed my life is that after the song was released, I started getting calls from all over. I was actually fully booked for the first time in my whole life, in my whole music career. I was fully booked. I remember last year, I did a tour in Mozambique. I did a tour. I performed in Matola, I performed in Maputo, I went and performed. I've performed in Masia, I've performed in Nchai, I've performed in Praia Nchai. I went as far as up north of Mozambique, in Nyambane. I've performed there because of this one song. I've done events, I've done awards, big awards, SAPC awards, and the song was nominated. The song currently is certified platinum, generating a lot of streams on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. Currently on YouTube alone, it's sitting on around 2.3 million views, which is thanks to you guys. But the song rhandza ka Xikwembu has changed my life and the life of my family. Now I have like a space in the music industry and the respect that is due to my craft as an artist, but also it has connected me with my destiny helpers and a lot of people that have changed my life and I've changed their lives. So that's how rhandza ka Xikwembu has helped me. Last question, number 9. What's next for Gospel Silinda? There's a whole lot of things that I want to do, but there's one thing that I just want you guys to know from now, is that I'm recording my next live recording in Maputo or at Matola in Mozambique. The reason why I chose that is because I have finally decided to fully occupy the Shangana space in the gospel fraternity. I need, first of all, God did not make a mistake by making me Shangana and I'm Changana, you know, and I'm proudly Changana. You know, it's in my blood, it's in my DNA. My ancestors are from Mozambique. So I'm gonna do an album in Mozambique fully in Shangan, and I'm gonna add a little bit of Portuguese and a little bit of Zulu, English there and Sotho there, and other languages there. But it's gonna be mainly the majority of the album is gonna be in Shangana. You know, I want people to know us as Shangana people, how lovely we are, our skills, our heritage, our history, our people, our infrastructure, our commonwealth. Everything that concerns our people, I want to take this heritage of Changana heritage and present it to the world, because I feel that no one has done that to an extent which, you know, I look at, I admire Zulu people. They've done that so intensively that even everyone in the world knows the Zulu culture. Even me as a Shangan person, I know the Zulu culture to the T. So I want to expose that to the people. The Changana culture, it's in my blood, it's who I am. So I'm doing a live recording in Matola or Maputo in Mozambique. I'm planning to do it around October because I did my first live recording in October. So October is kind of like my month, and I will do it. So I will give more information on this podcast and on all my social media platforms. And yeah, that's basically that. And yeah, I hope it's gonna be amazing. And yeah, so let's go to a quick quiz. Between black and white, what's my favorite color? I love both. You know, I love dressed in white and I'm dressed in black. So yeah, my favorite dish, that will be pasta or spaghetti with lamb chops and green salad. If you do that, if you give me, anyway, let's leave it. I'm getting hungry already thinking about it. My favorite vacation destination, definitely Mozambique. Hands down, Mozambique. One, everybody in Mozambique speaks my language, so I feel at home. I am at home in Mozambique, and I believe that Mozambique has beautiful places. I mean, you go to Bileni, you go to Tofo Beach in Nyambane. It's beautiful. You go to Maputo, you find beautiful people. I mean, people there are so loving, down to earth. They cook nice food. Guys, people in Mozambique cook nice food. And the hospitality, man, is just on another level. So when I'm in Mozambique, I'm always home. And I believe that one day I will return home. And that's my favorite destination. And am I an outdoor or indoors person? What I do for a living requires me to be always in crowded spaces, outdoor. So personally, I love being indoors because I get time and moment to reflect, kind of like reload and reboot my system and kind of like recharge myself, you know. And so yeah, I love being indoors at any time. So who's your celebrity crush? My celebrity crush would be, I don't know if she's a celebrity or not, but she's popular. That would be Vanessa Metsani. Vanessa Metsani. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. That's my crush, Pella, guys. So yeah, that's her. So yeah, what's your favorite car? My favorite car is a Range Rover CLR RS Sport. I love the car, but also kind of like lately love the latest BMW X5. Oh, love that machine, man. Those are my favorite cars. So yeah, I think we've come to the end of today's episode. Thank you for watching and staying with me until this far. I appreciate your love and support. Don't forget to subscribe. Kindly subscribe and turn on all your notifications. And yeah, man, that will be all for today. Catch us on our next episode. Next weekend we'll be releasing episodes every Sunday, and it will be nice. So yeah, we'll be right back with more goodies and more videos. Until then, stay tuned, keep well, keep warm. Don't do things that you shouldn't be doing. Winter is temporary, but remember, the consequences of our actions are permanent. So be safe this winter. Don't do things that married people do. Leave it to us married people. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Thank you.